All right, so excited to be joined by Daniel Jeremiah now. DJ, Patriots sitting at 3 overall. It seems like we're kind of, I know you took Jaden Daniels in your latest mock draft. Everybody, I think, has kind of accepted Drake May or Jaden Daniels. That seems like the most popular pick. Just what do you see in those two guys? What could fans here expect if you were to draft one of those guys? Do you think they're ready to come in and play right away? Do you think they have to sit?
I think they could both come in and play. I think for sure. Let's start with Jaden Daniels, and let's start with that one. He's started a zillion games, started 50 plus games in college. He's older, he's mature, he's been through adversity. So those are the things you kind of look at when you're okay, is this guy going to be able to survive some of these speed bumps along the way here? I think he would be fine. I think also with him the athleticism to be able to buy time, and as he gets more comfortable in the passing game that they're going to deploy there. I think you've got ways to generate offense as he's still going to, even though he's played a lot of college games, learn how to read NFL defenses and get adjusted there. I think his legs buy him some time. So I think you could absolutely get him out there. What you like about him, look, the accuracy, especially over the top. He's got unbelievable touch. He played with confidence this year. I mean, there was so many slot fades that they hit. They were just, one after another, perfect over the shoulder throws. And then when things aren't there, he can go make things happen with his legs. So that's him as a player. Why I think he'd be fine going right into the mix. Drake May, prototype. You get the big, physical, athletic dude who can, to me, he can make every type of throw. And I mean that not just like velocity wise. He has the arm strength to do that. I mean, you'll see him layer the ball. He'll take some steam off the ball, touch it up. He can get those over under throws going. He got into some bad habits this year, some pressure. He's drifting away. Did a little bit better job of getting his feet set. But I don't think I've seen anything from him, and I don't believe I've seen anything from him that would say, okay, this guy really needs a lot of time. There's some things to work on, some things to clean up. But again, another real mentally and physically tough kid.
So if we don't take a quarterback there, everybody's kind of considering, do they trade down? And I think it's with the holes at tackle, at receiver. I mean, these classes are loaded at both those
Yeah.
positions. I think you trade down though. It's hard to see where they're picking 34. Those tackles are going to kind of go. It feels like, even some of the receivers, I know that it's a deep class, but what do you see would maybe be a package that the Patriots would consider to trade down with? And, would it make sense maybe for them to try to hit that tackle class near the top or some of those receivers?
Well, there's a lot of different scenarios you can kick around. I mean, you don't have to potentially go that far. I mean, if you look at the Giants as a team that's been mentioned as a quarterback team, whoever their guy is, that could be something where if you're the Patriots, you're like, we really like four quarterbacks, but we also have these other needs that you mentioned. If we were to go to six, there's a chance, there's a chance maybe the fourth quarterback is there. If not, you have to be comfortable with the fact of, okay, well, I'm going to get, I might have a chance to get the best offensive tackle in the draft, or I can get one of the top two wide receivers in this draft. That's an option while picking up all these other resources to fill some of these holes. So that would be intriguing to me. I think everybody's mentioned the Vikings as a team that would, love to move up. They acquired that second first round pick from Houston to be able to go do that. So 11, you're going to miss out on the top three wideouts. They're gone. You're going to probably miss out on the first two, maybe even three tackles. So, yeah, that one to me, it's stick and pick is the smartest thing to do. And if for some reason you are going to trade down, I don't know that I would want to go beyond six if I was New England.
You mentioned four quarterbacks. JJ McCarthy kind of, getting a little buzz about him. Why do you think that
Mhm.
is? What about him is kind of made him rise here after the combine?
Well, I think there's, a lot of times we talk about guys rising. Guys haven't had a chance to do them yet. And I think he wasn't one of those name brand players that people assume would come out this year over last offseason. So if you're a decision maker on a personnel side, you probably hadn't watched him over the summer. And then you get into this year, you've got your whole host of candidates for quarterbacks where the assumption is he's probably going to go back to school. If you're loosely following it, you're like, yeah, he's not posting really big numbers. So he's maybe, kind of hiding in plain sight on the number one team in the country. But I think once the season ended, he declares, I think then people had a chance to go back through. It takes a while. I was talking about this with somebody the other day. Just it takes a while to get comfortable with him. It's like an acquired taste where, you watch a game, you watch another game, like, okay, I don't know, has he done much here? Well, I saw a couple good throws, but then when you piece the whole thing together, specifically when you do the cut-ups, when you watch like every 3rd and 7 plus throw, and you okay, this is where you're facing challenging defenses that know you're going to throw the football. and you see him, he deals. His 3rd and 7 reel is good or better than any quarterback in this draft class. So that's why I think it just took a little time. It wasn't just a cut and dry, easy evaluation.
I mentioned kind of the three big needs: quarterback, tackle, wide receiver. It just seems hard to get all three. Patriots just signed KJ Osborne. They have some depth there. They got 9 receivers on the
Yeah.
roster, but I think what's really lacking is an outside threat. And I guess the question really is, if you don't get a receiver there in day one, AD Mitchell, those kind of guys late first, maybe that you'd have to trade back up for. Are there any fits you maybe see that could be that developmental outside guy that you could get in the 2nd, 3rd round, kind of moving forward?
There's a ton of wideouts when you go through this draft, and I think it's been that way for really the last several drafts. It's just what the college game has given you. So, you talk about a pick at 34, top of the 2nd round. One of the guys who's got a lot of love around the league is Pearsall from Florida, and he's somebody who could play inside, could play outside, could do a lot of different things there. Troy Franklin would give him a speed merchant on the outside there from Oregon, who's a little lean. But he has a lot of juice, a lot of explosiveness. But I mean, we could literally go through every round of the draft, and I could give you 3 names that are going to be there. It's just there's a million of them. So, and that's one of the things that I'm struggling with forecasting this first top 10 is, yes, I have 3 receivers, the top 5 players in this draft class. And I'm sitting there going like, gosh, I wouldn't want to pass on one of these 3 guys. But then I'm like, yeah, but you could wait until the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, and there's still starting caliber players there. Whereas, tackles, even though it's a deep group, historically here, they're gone. At the end of the 1st round, it's hard to find starting tackles. They're just not going to be there. So that's why, to me, that informs the decision a little bit. And you go, okay, maybe I have this receiver a little bit over this tackle, or maybe a little bit over this, edge rusher or receiver. When you look at the receivers versus edge rushers and tackles, it's like, man, I can get receivers anywhere. So that'll be fascinating.
Just generally, what do you feel like when we get into day 3, late day 2, day 3? Where's the value there? Like, what are the position groups you feel like are have that depth? That, I mean, regardless of needs, just what are the strongest positions there into day 3?
Yeah, I think there's corners. I think it's a good group of day 3 corners. I also think the running backs are all going to get pushed down. We don't have a lot of separation there. One team's top running back might be another team's 8th ranked running back. It's just there's a clump of them. So you don't see them go in the 1st round. There's a chance we potentially don't even see one go in the 2nd round. And then now I think you see a run in the 3rd. And then I think even to early on day 3, that 4th, 5th round, I think there's a good number of backs. And that's kind of the sweet spot for them in this draft. So corners, running backs, those would be the 2 to me. I think once you get in day 3, I think you can get starters.
So last question one for you. Just obviously turnover this year, major turnover at the coaching position. Alex Van Pelt coming in as the offensive coordinator. Gerard Mayo, head coach, game plan, defense. They've always been pretty flexible on that side of the ball. Just overall, any fits that you see? I know the Patriots are evolving. We don't know for sure what they're going to do, but assuming they kind of stick generally, at least defensively, what we've seen from Van Pelt. Any guys out there that you think are kind of fit?
From an offensive standpoint?
Yeah, either side of the ball.
Offense or defense? I mean, to me, I know that obviously Bill's not there, but I think defensively, I don't really see anything changing. I mean, they're always, I think that's ingrained in their culture and who they are. They're going to value, smart, tough, versatile players. I think they're maybe trying to get a little faster. And to me, you can do that not only, you think about the secondary. I think, again, just linebackers just get more speed, as much speed as you can get out there on the field. And then offensively, the identity to me is going to be about, okay, are we going to stick and pick? If it's the 3rd guy is going to be a quarterback, then to me, I think I like the fact that bringing Hunter back. To me, I have a young quarterback. I want easy completions. So even though we would like a big guy on the outside, a flyer, I think it'd almost be more valuable just adding quickness and guys that can uncover and guys that can run after the catch and try and take some of that off of this guy who, you've got a bridge quarterback in place, so he doesn't have to go out there week 1. But I would imagine if they stick and pick, we're going to see that guy sooner or later.
Awesome. DJ, thanks so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Good to catch up.